Okay. I liked FanFest and all, but I just looked at my bank account, dude, and I can't believe how much we spent. No, how much I spent.
Okay, first of all, what are you talking about? You said the tickets were free.
Yes, the tickets were free, which was great because I thought, well, that'll be fun. We'll go to FanFest. We'll hang out. We'll get to see some of the ballpark. It'll be a great time. I didn't know that the food was going to cost more than like a night at like French Laundry.
Okay, first of all, that's just hyperbole. Okay, it did not cost. It was the same. Okay, it wasn't more. It was roughly the same. Okay, especially if you get the wine, pairings. Then it was virtually the same.
Okay. Well, it wasn't the same food though. I'll tell you that. Like the hot dog was like this tiny little hot dog.
Yeah.
And then I got the fries separate. Now I will give it to you. You got the chicken tenders and the fries together.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple of sodas, but still, that was $72.
Okay, so first of all, this didn't bother me at all. But second of all, I want you to know that by pairing the chicken tenders, of which there were 3, with the fries, I saved $0. Okay, because the hot dog was $9.97 or whatever, and the French fries were like $9.97. Okay, and the chicken tenders with fries were like $19.97. Okay, so I think the chicken tenders with the fries was actually a little bit more than a hot dog and fries. So saved $0 and 0 cents by getting them together. But again, didn't bother me.
Oh, okay. Well, and I think I've been forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? What else did we get? What else did we eat?
Oh, there was a pretzel. I got a pretzel.
That's right. You decided to get a pretzel because, chicken tenders and fries wasn't enough. So you got this like $40 pretzel, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah. So everything else was $32. That's right. And the pretzel was $60.
I wanted to, do you a solid because, you've paid for me in the past. And I'm like, okay, that's what, we do, right? Oh, you paid last time, I'll pay this time. I think that you got the deal. Like, there's no way you paid $72 for the type of food that we ate on Saturday.
No, I think I probably paid, half that, whatever. But, that's what you get for taking so long to get wealthy.
Well, I do work for a nonprofit.
That's fair. They're not known for their high pay, are they?
No. And, a vow of poverty is a noble thing, okay?
Mm-hmm,
I just didn't know that part of that was paying $72 for some fries, chicken tenders, and a hot dog.
Matthew, we were at a ballpark. And you know what I also noticed? You don't seem to be complaining about how much we spent on the cocktails at all.
Yeah, because that's kind of a necessity. I don't even know how much we spent on the booze, to be honest. I didn't want to look.
That's the spirit, pun intended.
Bob, hit it.
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the baseball is mid, but the cocktails are elite. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 350 of Giant Cocktails. Right? 350.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Like that boggles my mind. 350. Like that means like we've done like 300 cocktails each.
You keep okay.
I know that we did the happy hour in the early days, but we haven't done that in a few seasons.
No, that's true.
I'm saying probably 275 to 300 cocktails each.
Probably we could probably actually we
actually have a document. We could actually look this up.
It's not even a document. It's a database, dude. We have a full-on database tracking each and every one of those cocktails. So we could easily look it up. So let's not.
Let's not. But I'm just saying that's a lot of cocktails.
It is a lot of cocktails.
But did you know, Ben, that Hall of Famer Jeff Kent amassed 350 total bases in 2000 when he had 196 hits that included 41 doubles, 7 triples, 133 home runs while stealing the MVP award from one Barry Bonds.
Won it fair and square. Bob.
He slid and rolled his fat ass past the base, the son of a bitch.
There it is. Yeah. It's won it fair and square.
He did. And because of that season, he's now a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
And I don't think that's hyperbole. I think, you had the MVP season probably was what pushed the voters over into giving him the Hall of Fame status that he so rightly deserved.
Right.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
I don't know that was banter, Bob. That was like serious talk.
Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm ready for booze.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, I do want to say that I'm drinking a Mai Tai. And I'm drinking a Mai Tai because on Friday evening, I hosted some 20 actually people to learn how to do cocktails as a fundraiser for the YMCA. And I wanted to thank listener Scott, who saw that on Instagram and actually made a donation. He didn't come to actually have some booze with us, but he paid up. So I appreciate that, Scott. Thank you for, you actually paid for one lesson of swim lessons for a child who gets financial assistance. So thank you so much for that. And I'm drinking a Mai Tai. I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Bob, today I'm drinking a cocktail that I'm calling the Orange and Black Old Fashioned. Why? Because I haven't used that name yet. Also, it's an old fashioned. And I will tell you what's in it at the end of the episode. And Scott, way to go, man. You basically saved a life. Now somebody's not going to drown.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Way to go, Scott.
And if any of you else would like to make a donation to the YMCA, the website is scfymca.org, and you can make a donation.
If you'd like to make a donation to Ben Henry, just go ahead and shoot me a DM somewhere on the socials.
I do want to say before we start out, Ben, that you and I talked quite a bit before we actually got on the air tonight. So I'm already like a Mai Tai and a half in, which should make for some interesting dialogue between you and I today.
That's good, because usually your dialogue is not interesting at all.
Oh, man. Like, I pay for your chicken tenders, and now you're like totally like bashing me?
Chicken tendies, okay, I believe they're called. And second of all, yeah, you did. And I don't feel bad about it at all.
And it was 2 cocktails that I paid for you. One at the ballpark, which I'm sure was like $30. I'll see when I get my bill. The other one was at Momo's across the street. And we were enjoying our time until the drunk guy came and sat next to us. And then we had to leave.
We didn't leave because of the drunk guy. We left because we were going to leave.
I left because of the drunk guy. Like, I was like ready to have, another talk. We could have just, but then he just wouldn't stop talking to us. And it was like, hey, you ready to go? And you, to your credit, were like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And we left.
Okay. Well, okay then.
So good bro code there. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Also, it's 556 cocktails.
Nice. I like that.
It's 556 cocktails. Not all of them unique, I don't think. But mostly unique.
So that's like 270, 8?
A piece?
Each?
Yeah, and you know what? Now that I think about it, they are all unique in the database. So, yes, that's 556 unique cocktails, because some of them have been on the show multiple times.
Yeah, but not that many. Like, we try hard not to duplicate.
That's right. That's right. And I sometimes think we try too hard.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Anyway, today is Sunday, March 15th. As we record this podcast, the Giants are 16-6 during spring training. However, this week we went 3-4, which was by far our worst week of the spring. But we're still 1 game up on the Dodgers for the Cactus League title.
Oh, thank goodness.
with 1 week left to go.
Just how we drew it up, Matthew. A neck-and-neck battle with our arch rivals for the title as we make our way towards a repeat. I don't think it could have gone any better. I'm really, really thankful that we have this opportunity to celebrate our team winning something before the regular season starts.
Me too. But what are we going to talk about today, Ben? Well, we're going to talk about rosters, who should make the team, who shouldn't, who we think are we're going to make some predictions around who we think are going to make the team, both on the position side and, amazingly enough, on the pitching side. Like, Ben's going to have to go on record what he's going to do for
I'm
the
ready.
pitchers.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
That's true.
My
I took
predictions
a
are
quick
good.
look at your list, and I do have some questions. But we will ask that when the time comes.
That's because you're drunk and you don't understand it. I will explain it to you as if you're an inebriated 3-year-old, and then you will understand.
Okay. The idea of an inebriated 3-year-old actually amuses me.
That amuses you?
It does.
To me, it sounds like a crime, but okay.
Well, I 3-year-olds are wild on their own. You stick a little booze in them, and I think that it could be problematic.
Surprisingly enough, they get a little calmer. Not that I know that. I don't know. What? I would assume. I don't.
Well, all I know is that a kid that young probably can't handle their booze. They're probably just going to pass out.
Right.
And take a nice nappy nap.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Anyway, Ben, we have a few tidbits to talk about before we get into our segments. And I hate to start it off this way. I really do.
Well, we needed to start with this one because recently we've been ending on downers in the tidbits. And
have we? Has that been a pattern?
Yes, it's a pattern because we always kind of put it at the bottom of the list because it's a downer. And then we talk about it last.
The happy stuff first. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're like, ooh, that was a downer. But yeah.
So let's start with the downer. Ben, let's have a moment of silence for Hayden Birdsong's elbow and forearm.
Okay, for the 2026 season, can we put it that way? Because it's not like his elbow and forearm are dead. They're just injured. They've had a serious setback. They're not dead. They're injured.
Okay. It is a serious setback for Mr. Birdsong. And, we have invested a lot of energy and emotion into Hayden Birdsong's early career. And I am saddened that Hayden appears to be headed towards the dreaded Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a sure thing yet, but it certainly does seem to be that is the path that he is on. It's certainly an option that is on the table. They're going to take a little bit of time, it sounds like, to weigh their options and see what he was diagnosed with a UCL strain and a forearm strain.
Correct.
He strained both of them. I believe when he threw that 99-mile-an-hour pitch is when it happened. And as I understand it, he wasn't feeling any discomfort until his last outing. So it was kind of an out-of-the-blue sort of thing. Although as a former athlete who has seriously injured himself, basically had a career-ending injury, I can tell you that most athletes are lying about how they feel before they had that catastrophic injury. At least in my experience, it's 1 out of 1.
Are you saying that you were in denial before you pulled your hamstring?
I was saying I probably should not have run in that race, is what I'm saying. But if I had taken a month off, I probably would have been fine. But if I'd taken a month off, my season would have been just as miserable as it was. So, I gambled and I lost.
I get it. Yeah, you did. Okay. Ben, as I mentioned in the opening, we went to FanFest at Oracle Park on Saturday. The interesting thing, there were some pros and cons to choosing the San Francisco FanFest versus the Sacramento or the East Bay or the South Bay FanFest. The cons being that there were no current players.
Correct, because they were all at spring training.
Yes. The pros were that we got to hang out in Oracle Park.
Yes, this was a very good way to get like just access to everything. We didn't go in the dugouts. I've been in the dugouts, so not something.
Well, we thought we were going to get in the dugouts, and we got in one of the long ass lines, but it was the shorter of the long ass lines, and we thought we were being like smart about that because the few people in front of us said, "Yeah, we're in line for the dugouts." Really, we were in line for the Lucille like I don't know, like stamp
quest
thing. Yeah.
You get a stamp, and if you get
if
five
you go
stamps,
and like go to 4 or 5 different other places, then you get to kiss Lucille. Wasn't that it or something?
No, if you get 5 stamps, you can then you have to find Lucille, give him your completed card, and then you get a photograph with Lucille.
Which was interesting because I never saw Lucille at all.
I didn't see him once. I think the whole thing was a scam. I think it was a way to keep the kids busy. But also, I will say this. I did ask, and there were no horses present. Apparently, there was no... I didn't see Lucille either, but there was also no horses.
No Lucille's like moms. No, there were none.
Yeah.
We did like wander around the outfield for a while looking at like all the lines and trying to figure out where everybody was standing in line. You and I did happen to find one in the concourse, a line that was like reasonable, and we stood in it, and we ended up getting a River Cats hat.
That's right. We got a free Rivers Cats hat. Okay. Matthew, I don't think our listeners want to know about the River Cats line. Or the line for the Lucille stamp. I do.
Okay.
I do.
How about we wandered into the clubhouses? We got to see the clubhouses.
Yes, we had our pictures taken with the 3 World Series trophies. First of all,
in the visitors clubhouse, which I thought was funny,
which was tiny.
It was tiny. Like those 26 guys, man, they are like just like butt to butt
crammed in there. Yeah, like and they have like these cubbies, and then they put all of the chairs that go in their cubbies, and their chairs were even not. They were not as nice chairs as I would have thought they would have.
No,
but
home field advantage got to be somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that if you have heard that the visitors clubhouse is small, I can confirm, very small, and good. Screw those guys.
All right. Well, before we move on, though, one last thing. Today, a Sunday, the game was the MLB free game of the week on the app.
Right.
And
free game of spring training week. Yeah.
Exactly. And I have not yet decided whether I want to pay for I paid for the audio already, but I don't know if I want to pay for the TV side when I could get it with my YouTube TV subscription.
See, I don't have a TV subscription, so this is how I watch the Giants.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But today I got to watch the spring training game, and it was like I'm watching it, and I'm doing other things, but I'm watching most of it. And we're just cruising along. But it wasn't until like the 7th inning when like John Miller says 24 up and 24 down after the end of I guess it was the 8th. And I was like, oh, we're like, first I thought no hitter. And then I'm like, did the little math in my head. And I'm like, no, that means like perfect game. Perfect game. And then we had Gregory Santos come out for the 9th. And he gets the first 2 outs.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, this is cool. I'm already deciding how we're going to like open our podcast with the perfect game kind of intro. And then he walks the guy to lose the perfect game.
Yeah. And then what did he do?
And then he gives up a double to give up, not only break up the no hitter, but to give up a run.
That's right.
And then he gets the final out. So,
you know what, Matthew, I'm glad that it happened this way. You know why?
Why?
Because you would have made a big deal out of something that nobody would have remembered ever. It would not have been a big deal for it to be a perfect game in spring training because it's in spring training.
You say that, but how many perfect games have there been in spring training? Probably not very many. I would say none. I would say very few. And so, yeah, like, and you know what I have to say about Gregory Santos? Cut him!
Fair enough. I mean, I can't close it down. Sure.
No, he can't. His sphincter slammed shut.
Right.
When it came time for the most important out.
Right. The most important out in this inconsequential game that doesn't mean anything.
It means a position for him. That's what it means. Gregory Santos is battling for a position. And I think that we should maybe talk about position battles, or let's call it, especially on the offensive side, how do we get one Bryce Eldridge onto the team.
Right.
Ben.
So we're going to talk about position players first. And the real goal of this exercise is to get Bryce Eldridge onto the team.
Well, that's your goal. Like I don't think that there's any way we can get Bryce Eldridge onto the team, but I think it's a good conversation to have because there are those of you out there who still think that Bryce Eldridge could make the team.
Okay. Okay. Like, you know what? You're lucky you're drunk right now because, like, you're really starting to tick me off. Okay? Like, I don't know if you have to be so blasé about it. Okay? Look, you know what all it takes for them to they just have to write his name on a list. Like, that's how it happens, man. It's super easy. Super easy. They just write down Bryce Eldridge, San Francisco Giant, and it's done. He's on. Okay? It's not hard. It's not hard. But fine. Let's do the Matthew calculus. Let's break it down. How do we get Bryce Eldridge on to the team? And I think there are many ways that this could happen.
Okay, well, so I think what the exercise calls for is maybe to like come to an agreement on who actually is going to make the team.
Okay.
Right. So let's just quickly go through like who's for sure, right? Mm-hmm. So we got Matt Chapman at third base, Willie Adames at shortstop, despite the fact that he's 4 for 37 this spring.
But Rich Aurelia at FanFest yesterday, Matthew, said that guaranteed. He said Willie Adames is not going to have the start that he had last year, this year.
Well, he must have meant that he's not going to have the start in the regular season that he had here, because certainly in the spring, he's been everything he was last year.
He's like batting 108.
108. Okay, so Chapman and Adames. Okay, we know they're going to make the team. Arise at second. Devers at first.
Yeah.
Bailey behind the plate. That's 5.
Yeah.
Then we got our outfield of Ramos, Jung-Hoo Lee, and Bader.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what, 8. Then we got. I have to have a backup catcher. Do we agree that will be Rule 5 draftee Daniel Suzak?
No.
No?
I mean, yes. Oh? Yes, we do.
Okay.
But that's been quite a battle. But yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be Daniel Suzak. Yes, because he's a Rule 5 draftee and he hasn't played poorly. Right? Like nobody I think it was kind of like his to win when you're talking and Haas and Jesus Rodriguez, I think were the other two guys that were like mostly in line.
Correct.
He hasn't played poorly enough for them to supplant him. So yes.
Well, right, because you're not going to spend $100,000 on a guy and then have maybe another 50 to give him back, or I don't know.
Of course you would. People do that all the time. Yes, you would at Major League Baseball.
No, the Giants are cheap ass son of a bitches, and they're not going to give back that money.
Well, I can't argue with that logic. Nope.
Okay. So Rule 5 FD Daniel Suzak, that leaves 4 spots available. Okay, and some of those got to be infielders. Well, and then a couple of them, at least one has to be an outfielder. So let's have a discussion around that. Okay. I personally feel like it's going to be Schmidt and Koss as the infielders. Mm-hmm. And then I think Grant McCrae has the inside track for the left-handed, like center field backup guy over someone like Will Brennan.
Yep.
And then the last spot goes to Encarnatos.
Encarnatos.
Yes.
I don't believe there is an Encarnatos on the roster.
Sure there is. There's one, Gerard Encarnacio Luisanatos.
Okay,
so
I see.
And it could be one or the other. They're both having really good springs.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because Gerard Encarnacion has the second most plate appearances of any player this spring. Second only to Bryce Eldridge, and they are within 2 plate appearances of each other. Like, what's interesting about Encarnacion is that a friend of the show, Andrew Baggerly, had Encarnacion penciled in onto the roster early on in spring, but has now since dropped him off. And I don't really understand why. But I did want to point out there are some oddities about Encarnacion's spring. It's a little bit of an enigma. His batting average has been good and consistently good. He has been like hitting 300 every week, and so he's been getting the base hits. However, he has struck out quite a few times, not nearly as many as Bryce Eldridge, who struck out 16 times. I think Encarnacion has struck out a lot, but it's like half that amount.
Right.
However, if you look at Mr. Encarnacion's on-base percentage, you will see that it is like 295. It's less than his batting average.
I'm not really good at this whole baseball math. How does that even happen, Ben?
Well, he had a sacrifice fly is what happened. And as a result of that, he lost his on-base percentage, but it didn't count against his batting average. But it did count against his on-base percentage. Usually you don't really notice those sorts of things because they have walks. But Encarnacion has not walked a single time this spring. And that's why his on-base percentage is so low, which lowers his overall OPS. Now, his slugging percentage is okay, but before today, he hit a prodigious home run today. A monster shot. But it's only his second home run of the year and of the spring, and only his fourth extra base hit. Before today, he had 2 doubles and 1 home run. All of his other hits were singles. So it is a bit curious, and because we haven't seen a lot of these games, because we can't, I don't really know how hard he's been hitting the ball. He hit it very hard today.
115 miles per hour hard.
Yes. So that's a good sign. And also, when he hit that home run, he is now tied for the spring lead for San Francisco Giants with 2 home runs. So it's not like Gerard is the only guy not hitting home runs. That is not something that the Giants have done significantly, although they are kind of mid-pack when you compare them to the rest of the teams in the spring. So
what they have done is they are doubles machines, Ben.
Yes, they have hit a lot of doubles. But getting back to Gerard, like, he's a bit of an enigma. I think there's a little bit of a question mark here. Like, you know, some people, if Andrew Baggerly's feeling that way about him, then it's possible that other baseball people could be feeling that way about him. So I wouldn't say he's much of a lock as we might have thought, despite those numbers. I think the one thing that's really hurting him is his selectivity.
Okay, agreed. But I think also that if there was one reason not to have Eldridge on the team, it's because they want to keep Encarnacion, who is out of options. And yes, he has 0 walks and 8 strikeouts in 43 at-bats. But that's also 8 fewer strikeouts than Bryce Eldridge has. Encarnacion, it's not like he's having a bad year or bad spring. He's hitting 302. Okay, and yes, he hit a second home run today, but I think that's what intrigues the Giants about him, is having a power bat off the bench that you could bring in late in the game that could make a difference. And he's the guy.
Is he the guy, though? I don't know. Like, his slugging percentage, not that impressive this spring. And
this spring, but we've seen him in action. He definitely is the power hitter guy.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think he has been as great as advertised. And yes, one Bryce Eldridge does lead the team in strikeouts with 16, which is a tremendous amount. But you know what he also leads the team in?
In walks.
Yes, in walks. Yes. His on-base percentage is .413, which is very, very good for his .250 batting average. And he has 4 doubles to go with his 1 home run. So he's been much more productive in those plate appearances where he actually makes contact with the ball. So, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, one of these guys is more of the full package, and I think the better that Bryce gets at making contact, then the more of an obvious sure thing that he becomes. But I get it. The other guy, though, that you brought up when you paired him in your little portmanteau That's when you take the sounds of two words, Matthew, and you mush them together to make one word.
I do remember that. I wouldn't remember to call it that, but I do remember it once you said it. Yes.
Yeah. Luis Matos, also out of options. I mean, for me, like, he was a surefire not going to make the team at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the spring.
Serious. This guy has more lives than a cat.
Right. And he, this spring, is hitting 289 and his 357 on base percentage and a 500 slugging percentage. Really, he's only had 2 walks? 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. How does his on base percentage be 357? How many? I'll have to do the math on that later. But the point is, he's making a lot of contact, right? He's not striking out. He's swinging the bat, and that's what the Giants say they want. They want guys that are going to put the ball in play. And that's something that Eldridge and Encarnacion both are not doing as well as Luis Matos. And Matos is a much more flexible outfielder. I don't think anybody's going to say he's amazing, but he's certainly better than Encarnacion.
Oh, absolutely. Right? I agree.
So interesting that he's still hanging in there. All right. So if both of those guys make the team, and you think only one of them's going to make the team.
Only one at best is going to make the team.
Yeah, sure. If neither of them make the team, then Bryce made the team. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
All right.
So this is a whole point about getting Bryce Eldridge on the team is both of Encarnacion and Matos can't make it.
Right.
And I think what makes it a little bit easier, I think, for the Giants to kind of say goodbye to 2 guys, because almost certainly if they don't make the team on opening day, they're not going to pass through waivers. Other teams will pick them up.
Yeah, both of those guys will be gone.
But then you have guys this spring who have shown up like Barry Cotto and Oliva, who have shown that maybe they're the next ones. They're stepping up and are ready to take that kind of position. So if somebody get hurt, they could be an asset to the club. So maybe it's more palatable to be able to get rid of Gerard and Luis, or let them go, not get rid of them, but let them go, and still keep Eldridge, because you've got some guys now that are showing a potential that maybe we hadn't seen before.
Right. So you're willing to sacrifice that depth because of Barry Cotto and Oliva. Yeah, I get it. And certainly I think we didn't talk at all about Will Brennan and Grant McCray because they're both lefties. And the point is, we need a lefty on the bench for those situations where it calls for one. And if Eldridge is going to be on the team, he's not going to be on the bench.
No, he's going to be either the first base or the DH, right? So you need one of the guys in the outfield to be left-handed. And so that kind of steers you towards Will Brennan or Grant McCray. I think it's going to be Grant McCray. I feel like he has been the guy that has shown that, well, he's made the most, at least this spring, the biggest change in how he's looked versus in the past, particularly when it comes to his walks and strikeout ratio. Like in the past, he struck out a lot. This spring, he has more walks than strikeouts. I feel like he's definitely changed how his approach at the plate, and they want his defensive ability and his ability to steal bases. I think that gives him the front runner position as one of the backup outfielders because he's left-handed and he can steal a few bases. Will Brennan had a great spring. He's having a great spring. He's hitting 379 for crying out loud, but he also has one option left. So I think that they would feel okay sending him to Sacramento to start the season.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so if Encarnacion or Matos makes it, and McCray and Brennan makes it, that's the 2 outfield spots, right?
Correct.
So then you shift over to the infield, and I think we both agree Casey Schmidt's a lock.
I think so. I don't see he could play all 4 infield positions. And he's had a good spring, and we know what he can do. Yeah. I don't think he's done anything to change that. Unless the Giants get a really great trade offer for him, yeah, he's starting the season as one of the backup infield.
Yeah, exactly, because Christian Koss won't make the team because Bryce Eldridge will be the backup corner infielder, and boom, the roster's set. Done.
Who's going to be the backup corner infielder? I missed that. What did you say?
Bryce Eldridge.
He's gonna. Oh, okay. So that's your take then.
Well, yeah, because
Koss versus Eldridge. That's what it comes down to for you.
Well, I don't think it's much of a contest. I mean, I love Christian Koss. Man, he's a real grinder or whatever. Yeah, this is Bryce. The Eldritch Knight is going to be the guy. And I know you're like, oh, but he doesn't play third base. Casey Schmidt can play third base. And you know who else can play third base? There's this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, Rafael Devers. Don't tell the Red Sox, but he can actually play third base. And you know what? They'd probably like to have him this year.
I will agree with you that Koss is not a sure thing to be on the team on opening day. But I don't think it's because of Eldridge. I think it's because of Jesus Rodriguez.
Ooh, Jesus Rodriguez.
I think Rodriguez has had such a good spring. He's hitting .333 with a .394 on base, a .567 slugging, only 5 Ks and 3 walks. So he's, strikeouts have not been a problem for him. And they like his abilities. He could play catcher. They've started him at second base. They've played him in the outfield. I think he is like the what they wanted Blake Sable to be a few years ago. He's the utility guy that can do everything. And so I think if Koss is going to be the one that loses his job, it's not going to be to Eldridge. It's going to be to Rodriguez.
So you're saying Jesus Rodriguez has a better chance of making this team than Christian Koss? Sorry.
No, I'm saying he has a better chance than Bryce Eldridge.
See, I just wanted you to say it out of your own mouth. That's preposterous. That is preposterous. That's preposterous.
They traded Camilo Doval for this guy, Ben. They like him.
I get it.
And they want to find a spot for him. And they've been telling us all along that Bryce Eldridge might need more seasoning. Why don't you believe him when they tell you that?
Because they're wrong and stupid. Like, you cannot tell me that Jesus Rodriguez deserves to be on this team more than Bryce Eldridge. Like, I just, the ceiling, the raw power numbers right now, just no. And, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't, like, the reason they want him to play second base is because they don't want him to be a catcher because they don't think he's a good catcher. I can guarantee you the guy who used to play catcher is probably not going to be a great second baseman. But
he's going to be the third string catcher because we'll already have Suzak. So it's not like, Ben, do you like MSG?
No, I love MSG. But
okay. Then think of Eldridge as needing more MSG. He needs more seasoning. Rodriguez has more at-bats in AAA than Eldridge does. He has more experience. He's going to be the guy that they're going to be like, oh, he's earned it. He's had his time. We need Eldridge to go to AAA and be seasoned.
Okay,
We've been hearing them. They've been saying that. And yet you don't want to hear it. You don't want to believe it. But believe it when people tell you what they say.
I believe it. But if they have Rodriguez on this roster and not Bryce Eldridge, then there's just no way that's going to happen. There's just no way.
So if I'm wrong, then it's Koss on there, not Eldridge.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Koss, and they're going to do everything they can to keep Encarnacion and Matos and McRae. Will Brennan is going to go, and then maybe they'll try to keep him on it, whatever.
It's not going to be Encarnacion and Matos.
No, I agree. But I do want to throw out one other idea.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit because I hear you with the whole Rodriguez thing because he can play a little bit in infield. I guarantee you he doesn't play it well. Okay, because I can only think of
it seems like the Giants are dedicated to not having a second baseman that can play well.
True.
I mean, that's just they've already committed to that. So what does it matter?
Okay, you're right. There is one way, though, that I see this happening because you're like, they seem like it's that the Giants are willing to give up Encarnacion or Matos. What if they get, because, and they have Barry Cotto, they have Oliva. What if they give up both of them? And we let Christian Koss become a super sub who can also play the outfield. And then that gives us room for one more person, which could be the Eldritch Knight, Bryce Eldridge.
That would have to be, I think, the path.
Yeah. But that being said, we're going very long on this. Let's just give our predictions because we can both put them out on the table. You'll be wrong. I'll be right. Let's just do it.
Okay, so my last four are Schmidt and Koss as the infield backups, and Grant McCray. And if I had to choose, it's going to be Encarnacion as the last guy.
Okay, so here it is. Here's mine.
Okay.
It's going to be Casey Schmidt. It's going to be Koss. And it's going to be McCray, and it's going to be Encarnacion.
Oh, you're agreeing with me?
That's what it's going to be.
Okay, not what you want
Not
it to
what
be.
or even what I think it should be.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
what
I
it's
can
going to be.
respect that.
That's what it's going to be. Like, I think they're gonna play it safe. They're gonna try to keep as many of these guys as they can, even though we've seen that before from the Farhan days, right? It's still a bunch of Farhan guys running this organization, all playing it safe, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna play it safe, and they're gonna walk their way to mediocrity with that crew. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But you know what, Matthew? As angry as that makes me, there's something else that I'm even more emotional about. And it's not anger. It's outright terror.
What's that?
I am terrified of what is going to happen to the poor young men that end up being in the San Francisco Giants bullpen, because it's not going to be good. Let's talk about the pitching
well,
staff.
let's talk about that. So we're running out of time, so we need to go quicker on this, but I think we can agree on the starting rotation, right? It's Webb, Ray, Roop, Malley, and Hauser-D's wins.
Agreed. Hauser-D's wins.
Okay.
Takes the last spot.
Okay. Then you got Walker as right now the de facto closer.
Yeah, no, Walker's the closer.
Right? Spencer Bivens, I think, is also a lock. Eric Miller as the first left-hander he just debuted this week, but looked really good in his debut. Gave up a leadoff single and then struck out 3 guys in a row. If that's the Miller we get, then we'll be lucky, and I'll take that. Buteau is another one that I would put in there, so that's 4. And then I think Old McDonald, E-I-E-I-O. Right? Trevor McDonald is the swing guy, the long guy, I think, because of our man Hayden Birdsong is no longer a consideration. Carson Seymour could be another one, but I think we've seen enough of McDonald to where he would be the guy.
You don't Wisenhunt? No Wisenhunt?
Okay, he's another one you could throw in there for sure. I still think it's going to be Trevor McDonald.
Okay.
So that's 5. I was certain, Ben, as of last episode, that it was going to be Juan Sanchez as the second left-hander.
Yeah.
But he got demoted. He got let go or sent back to minor league camp this week. So now it's going to be Joey Lucchesi.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that leaves like 2 spots. 2 spots that you could really go anywhere. I think based on performance this year so far, I think JT Brubaker is the 7th guy in the bullpen. And then there's always one non-roster invitee that makes it. Always. And so this year for me, it's Caleb Killian. He's had a really good spring. I think I've seen quotes where it looks like Tony Vitello really likes him. I think Caleb Killian is going to be the 8th guy in the bullpen. That leaves out Gregory Santos, and I did struggle with that a little bit, but he's only pitched 3 innings. He gave up the perfect game. Like, I don't think that's.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be the odd man out. But that's just me. What do you think?
Well, you declared earlier when you said cut him that
Yes,
Santos was
cut
out
him.
because he lost the.
That's right, because spring training perfect games are important.
Right.
Ben.
He lost the thing that was totally irrelevant and doesn't matter towards anything. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, I completely agree with your starting rotation. I think Wisenhunt and Tidwell and maybe even Birdsong was an outside possibility. McDonald was an outside possibility. But I think the veterans that they brought back plus Landon Roop is the starting rotation. Right? So, yeah, it's Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Landon Roop, Malley, and Hauser-D's wins. Yes, totally agree with that. I do want to talk a little about this Juan Sanchez guy because I heard like after we brought him up last week, all the other podcasters were just singing the praises of Juan Sanchez and how he was going to be on the team and blah, 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 blah. All except one podcaster. One podcaster who said, I don't see him making this team in any way. He's not going to be on it. Who said that? Oh,
one bit Henry.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And was I right?
You were right.
That's right. Okay.
But are you excited about that?
No, actually, I was very concerned, Matthew. The thing that sent me over the edge was when I saw the notification pop up that the Giants had signed Lucchesi.
Yeah.
That pretty much put me. I just went up. I went apoplectic, as they say, as the kids say these days.
The spit was coming out of your
I was
mouth.
just frothing at the mouth. Because here was a guy that was on the team that you could have signed at any point during the offseason.
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't good enough to keep, Ben.
No. And he wasn't good enough to get right before bring him in as a non-roster invitee, none of that stuff. And he was just swinging out there in the wind. And then last week, they're like, oh, we're bringing Joey Lucchesi back. Yeah, he was so good for us last year. We love him. Yeah, we know him. And I'm like, oh, God, you guys are panicking. You have no idea. You think your bullpen is a disaster, and you're desperately trying to fix it. That's what that signing said to me. And I'm like, yeah, because it jives. All right. That being said, I fixed it. All right. You ready?
All right. No, let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with the lefties. It's going to be Miller. I think he's going to come back. His peripherals be darned. It's going to be the same Eric Miller that we saw 2 years ago. It is Shohei Ohtani's kryptonite. Eric Miller going to be there. Joey Lucchesi, second lefty. We're going to go with two lefties this year. Not something the Giants often do, but they're doing it. Joey Lucchesi. All right. Walker's our closer. Totally agree. Okay. I agree that Old McDonald is going to win. Is going to win the long man role. And then I know Buteau, I know Bivens, but I had to make some hard choices, Matthew. So they're both out.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Joel Peguero, up and coming setup man, like that fireballer. He's good. Okay.
What with his, because you like guys with hamstring injuries. That's like you're just partial to them.
Well, okay. I'm banking on the fact that he's going to be healthy. But if not, sure.
Oh, okay.
If not, sure. Let's bring in Buteau. Let's bring in Bivens. Whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel better. If Peguero's hurt, yeah, let's bring one of those two guys. Okay. But here's the key pieces that I think everybody's missing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Okay, give it to me.
Yeah. Hero of the World Baseball Classic semifinals today, one Tyler Rogers. Setup guy. Definitely. And I get it. People don't like this next guy necessarily as the closer. He's always given them lots of anxiety. We've already given the role to Ryan Walker, but we're bringing back Camilo Doval. Camilo, I love you! That leaves one position left, Matthew. And I thought about this long and hard.
Did you?
I actually did. I went through a lot of names for this one. Listen, he's only 61 years old, but I'd really like to see Mike Jackson come out of retirement. I know. Like mid-90s? No, what? Who remembers Mike Jackson? Dude, few other setup guys were as locked down as Mike Jackson. There it is. I fixed it.
Okay. I see a slight problem with your predictions.
I don't want to hear it.
Tyler Rogers plays for the Mets.
No, he does not.
He plays for somebody other than the Giants.
That is true.
So
that
does
is true.
Camilo Doval. According to USA, according to Fox, Tyler Rogers plays for the Orioles.
He played for the Orioles in 2025.
And he had 18 starts last
That's
year.
right.
So
That's right. That's what they said.
So he can't possibly be in the bullpen for the Giants.
Editor's note. Fox Sports accidentally put up the stats for one Trevor Rogers when Tyler made his entrance into the game today. They got the wrong Rogers, and it wasn't
even his twin brother.
Correct. But that's neither here nor there. Also, Tyler Rogers is currently on the Toronto Blue Jays.
That's right. He got paid by the Blue Jays this offseason. That's right. Camilo Duvall, also not a Giant.
Oh, who does he play? No, Matthew.
The Yankees.
He plays for the Dominican Republic, and that's a whole different tournament. Like I know you saw him there, but that's a different thing. Like that's how he can be on two different teams. Camilo's coming back.
The last guy, Mike Jackson, while he was an excellent setup man for the Giants. I mean, excellent.
Oh, it's so
he
good.
is 61 years old. If you want to go from something in the past, may I suggest Felix Rodriguez?
Oh.
He's only 53.
He's only 53.
Yes, he's younger than I am.
I'm sorry, Matthew. 2002 is still too fresh in my mind.
Okay.
He did blow that save.
I know.
I just that's why I couldn't go with old Felix, so I went back to Mike, and I hear that 61 is the new 31.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. It could definitely be that way. I don't know how.
Okay, look, I think if Peguero is healthy, which it sounds like he won't be. I think you're just as right as anybody else. Brubaker, Killian, why not? Whatever. I mean, it's just, oh God, I feel like I'm crossing a busy road in the dark, in dark clothing. That's how those innings are going to feel. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
I get it. I get it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Those are the predictions. Speaking of predictions, Matthew, maybe we should talk about how the rest of this spring is going to go, because we're almost done. This is our second to last episode of the spring training of spring.
The second to last episode of season 5.
That's
of
right.
Giant Cocktails.
That's right. So that means next week we are going to have our annual predictions episode, where we talk about all kinds of weird, crazy things that we think the Giants will accomplish, and then we will bring those back up at various times during the regular season to laugh at ourselves. And hopefully it'll be how pessimistic Ben was, but it will probably be how overly optimistic Matthew was. We will make such predictions as, how many wins will the Giants have?
Yes.
Will the Giants make the playoffs? Who will win awards? Who won't win awards?
I think the biggest question that listeners will want to tune in for is, how wide of a range is it between Ben and Matthew's win prediction? I think, will Matthew go over 90 and will Ben settle on homeostasis? That's the big question that I think.
There's a very good chance I'll settle on homeostasis. The question is, will I go below 75?
Oh!
That's the real question. I know we all just assume that the Giants will always be mediocre, but they could be good, but they could also be bad. So I might make a prediction that surprises everybody. But yeah, I'll also say this. I do have a habit of predicting a very wide range. I end up saying something where later I could just say I was right, because I gave a 12-win range. And it's up to Matthew to not let me do that. So we'll see how he does. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to make it so that I get somewhere between 92 and 78 wins. I'm going to try to be in that range exactly. That's where I would ideally like to be, so that if they win anything in between those two numbers, I'll be right.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to try to do.
I'm going to do my best to make a case for more than whatever Ben predicts.
Well, then you better hope I don't do 92, dude. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 92. So you're going to have to say at least 93.
Oh.
Yeah.
I locked myself into
You
that,
did.
didn't I?
You just did. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And then that'll be our last episode of Season 5 of Giant Cocktails, and then we will kick off Season 6 of Giant Cocktails. I think we'll release it on Thursday morning, which will be our normal release time for the week. We will go to 2 times a week. We will release Monday and Thursday mornings. We will record them on Sunday and Wednesday nights. That means we're going to record our season opener immediately following the Giants season opener. Their tilt against Camila Doval's New York Yankees on opening night of Major League Baseball.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are the Giants ready? I don't know if the Giants are ready.
No, they're so not ready. I think the lineup looks ready. Willie Adonis notwithstanding. Like, of course he's not ready. But we know that's a given. Rafael looks ready.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, Bob, it is definitely time for the booze.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking a Mai Tai. It's the entry to tiki, and it is always delicious. And so that's what I'm drinking. And what's in a Mai Tai? Well, in my Mai Tai, because there are always, with so many rums, there are variations. But mine is 1.5 ounces of Jamaican rum. In my case, it's Appleton Estate Signature Rum. 3/4 ounces of Orange Curacao. Mine is Fasioned Orange Curacao. 3/4 ounces of lime juice. 1/2 ounce of Orgeat. And you're going to put all that together with some crushed ice and do what's called a whip shake, where you're just going to shake it like 2 or 3 times and then dump it all into a rocks glass. You're going to add a little bit more crushed ice on top of that. And then you're going to pour 1/4 ounce of either Smith & Cross overproof rum, as an example, or something funky like Xayamaca. Planderay Xayamaca rum. I have Xayamaca today. On Friday, I did Smith & Cross. They are both delicious, and it is a lot of fun. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob. A Mai Tai.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Thanks, Bob. I think it's pretty yummy.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Bob, today I'm drinking a cocktail that I am calling the Orange and Black Old Fashioned. What's in an Orange and Black Old Fashioned? Well, Bob, it has 2 ounces of bourbon. I, today, am using Elijah Craig Small Batch, a very affordable but slightly upscale bourbon. Get yours at Costco, if it's there. To that, I am adding 1/2 ounce of Cointreau. You can use any other orange liqueur if you want. I'm using Cointreau. Why Cointreau? Because their bottles used to be orange and black. They're not anymore. They changed their labels. Anyway, that's what I'm using. It's my favorite orange liqueur. To that, you'll add 2 ashes of Angostura bitters. You're going to put all of that into a mixing glass with ice. Stir it to your desired dilution. 10 seconds if you want a strong tasting one. 30 seconds if you like it a little more diluted. Strain that into a rocks glass over a large single chunk of craft ice. Or just large ice cubes if that's all you got. And then garnish that with a fresh orange twist that you express over the glass and then rub around the rim. I garnished mine with a dried orange wheel and 2 star anise and I think a bay leaf. It was very tasty after I let all of those sit in there for a while. And that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. An Orange and Black Old Fashioned.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It was really good, Bob. I really enjoyed it. Not too sweet. But really, the spices of the star anise really made the cocktail better and better as I drank it. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next Monday for the last episode of Season 5 of Giant Cocktails and the last episode of Spring Training 2026. Will the Giants successfully defend their Cactus League title? I hope so, because that's probably the closest chance they have to winning a title for some time to come. Part of that is because of the impending lockout. Wow, that was a downer, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for leading us that way.
Well, if you can't wait for more depressing information like that, feel free to reach out to me on social media if you're lucky enough to find me. If you can't, you can reach out to Giant Cocktails, wherever you can find our username. You can find us on such places as Instagram and YouTube, where you can also like and subscribe. But most importantly, be sure to leave us a positive review on your podcasting platform of choice, such as Apple Podcasts or Mike Jacksonify. Matthew, it was really great talking San Francisco Giants with you this week. Let's do it again next week. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye! Maybe we shouldn't have traded all those dudes last year.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
Felix Rodriguezify.
Felix Rodriguezify? Is that what you think I should have said? Mm-hmm. You didn't like Mike Jacksonify.
He's 61. I don't think he's helping anybody.
Yeah, but he had a I know it wasn't for the Giants, but he had a 3.09 ERA plus season, Matthew. He was 3 times as good as an average reliever.
Yeah, it was so good that he actually got MVP votes that year.
As a closer. I mean, Sparky Lyle won the Cy Young as a closer, but he also sat on a cake, so 70s were weird.
Oh, the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did that with, he pulled down his pants and then sat on it. I don't think he, sat down on it in his uniform. I think it was, naked, it was a naked sitting. I think. I don't know.
Would you eat the cake
God,
after?
No.
I wouldn't either.
Didn't 2 guys on that team swap wives? Or is that just, is that, what's the word for when it's hypocritical? Hypocrisy. Hippocratic oath. That's what it is.
That's a good question.
Apostrophe. Something like that. Are you looking it up? Are you asking ChatGPT or are you doing Google?
I'm Googling. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The answer is yes. Fritz Peterson and Mike Kikich.
Man, the 70s.
If I had swapped wives.
If I had to choose a decade to go from the past to go live through again, not again, because I'd lived through part of it. If I just pick any decade from the American history, I might choose the 1970s. What a crazy time.
Yeah.
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 So Fritz Peterson married Mike Kelkich's wife, Susan Kelkich, and they stayed together for over 40 years.
Wow. Well, good for them.
The other two, though, Mike Kelkich and then Fritz Peterson's wife, Marilyn, did not last. They eventually split up.
Sad.
They also traded houses, dogs, and
they
cars.
traded a whole lives. That's one dude moved into one guy's house, and the other dude moved into the other guy's house. I mean, I guess if you're like, hey, I really like your stuff, and I really like your stuff, maybe just be honest. See, that's why the 70s were so great, Matthew.
Because it was just like, sure, why
Just
not?
honesty.
And let's go do drugs and drink at Studio 50.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, Matthew, drugs were safe then, and there were no STDs. No? Is that not how it worked? That's how they all behaved. Shame on those boomers. Shame on those boomers.
Living their best
nasty
lives, man.
little. Just wow, must be nice. Must be nice to be a boomer.
Like and subscribe, people.